I woke up after being in a coma for 3 years. Upon awakening, I discovered that my boyfriend had a new fiancé, and my parents had a new daughter. Arya, let's not bring up our past relationship anymore. It's embarrassing. We were young and foolish back then, Jake said dismissively. Sweetie, during these years when you were gone, Chloe has been the one supporting us through everything, my parents cooed. Seeing the smug smile on Chloe's face, I inwardly sneered. In my previous life, after learning everything, I couldn't accept it and went mad. I crashed Chloe and Jake's engagement party and was thrown out. As soon as I left the ceremony venue, I was hit by a car and died. After my death, my parents and Jake only briefly mourned for me before focusing all their attention on Chloe. This time, looking at Jake, who seemed a bit at a loss by my hospital bed, I nodded. We can break up, but I want compensation. What? Jake seemed not to understand and asked me again. I smiled slightly. 3 years ago, I saved your life. Otherwise, you'd be the one lying here. 3 years of time, plus your life, name a price and pay me back. Jake pursed his lips and shamelessly said, we were in love at that time. I remember all the good things you did for me. Seeing him like this, I couldn't help but laugh. What a dog. He's trying to avoid paying. No matter how many times I relive this, he's always so infuriating. In my previous life, I had just woken up when I heard from Jake about how he and Chloe fell in love at first sight. At that time, my memories were still stuck 3 years ago, when our love was at its peak. We were traveling together, and Jake carelessly didn't watch where he was going and was about to be hit by a car. I was blinded by love and pushed him away, ending up in a coma myself. 3 years had passed, and everything had changed. I couldn't accept that I had risked my life for Jake, only for him to find a new love during these 3 years. I cried and made a scene, acting hysterically like a madwoman. As a result, they became increasingly impatient with me. On the day I was discharged from the hospital, it happened to be Jake's engagement day. I rushed to their engagement ceremony and caused a huge scene. Everyone thought I had gone mad, including my parents. They had security throw me out. Ironically, as soon as I left the ceremony venue, I was hit by a car and died. Laughably, the car was carrying the 999 roses Jake had ordered for Chloe. After my death, Jake and Chloe had no more obstacles and lived happily together. My parents acted as if they never had a daughter like me, doting on Chloe as if she were their own. This time, I no longer yearn for their attention. I want to live well for myself. Of course, before that, I need to take back what belongs to me. Jake, spare me your bullshit about feelings. If you really had feelings for me, you wouldn't have a new love. $3 million to buy your life. That's not too much, is it? Or I could post this story online and let everyone judge for themselves whether I'm being unreasonable or if you, Mr. Jake, are being heartless and ungrateful. I said the last 4 words slowly, successfully, making Jake's face turn blue with anger. Arya, I know you can't accept this for now, but don't worry, we'll still be the best of friends in the future, just with one more person to care for you. Chloe is a great person. She and I will take good care of you from now on. Jake's shamelessness left me speechless. Before I could speak, the hospital room door was pushed open. Arya, you're finally awake, Chloe exclaimed, her eyes red with apparent emotion as our gazes met. I have to admit, she's really good at acting. Yes, if I hadn't woken up, my home would have been stolen completely, I replied. Hearing this, Chloe immediately explained, that's not true. I never intended to compete with you for anything. Still putting on airs like a cheap actress. So low class. I smiled slightly and said coldly, it's fine. If you've taken it, you've taken it. I don't care anyway. As long as Jake gives me what I deserve, I wish you both happiness. After I spoke, Chloe looked at me in disbelief. You're not making a fuss anymore? The last part she said very quietly, but because all my attention was on her, I still heard it. Thinking of a possibility, I couldn't help but smile. It seems she has also relived this once. I pretended not to understand and asked, Jake said you're about to get engaged. What's the use of me making a fuss? I stared at Chloe without blinking, and a flash of smugness crossed her face. Indeed, things are different from my previous life. In my previous life, at this time, Chloe was still a pitiful little white flower. She would never have shown such an expression. It seems things have become interesting. Arya, you just woke up. Don't think too much. Even if you're angry with me, you need to take care of your health first. Jake was still the same, full of verbal concern, but unwilling to actually bleed when it came to money. However, this time he doesn't get to decide. Unlike my previous life, I've learned my lesson this time. No crying or making a scene, only well wishes. So after staying in the hospital for 3 days, I was taken back to the family house to recuperate. My parents only showed their faces at the beginning to express their concern, then went off to do their own things. These past few days, I've become fully convinced that Chloe has also been reborn. Only this time, she's too eager. As soon as my parents left, she invited Jake and some friends over for a gathering at the house. The pretext was to celebrate my awakening. Everyone was standing, while I sat in a wheelchair. Arya hasn't fully recovered yet, so everyone please take extra care of her today, Chloe requested, acting like a caring big sister. Seeing this, the others' eyes darted between Jake, Chloe and me, all with a look of anticipation for drama, and I had no intention of disappointing them. Jake, have you thought about what I said to you the other day? I asked. Hearing this, the gossip in everyone's eyes burned even more fiercely. $3 million to buy 3 years of Mr. Jake's life, that's not too much, is it? The information was a bit overwhelming, and everyone couldn't help but gasp. Arya, how can you be so greedy? Your behavior is really unsightly. Chloe looked at me with apparent heartache. If it were me, even if I lost my life for Jake, I would do so willingly. Seeing her act like a holy white lotus, I felt my eyes hurt. Then why don't you pay the $3 million for him? You're willing to give up your life, so this bit of money should be nothing, right? Chloe was choked by my words and glared at me fiercely before quickly putting on a tearful expression again. Arya, I know you're doing this to embarrass me. It's my fault for not controlling my heart and falling in love with Jake. You can do whatever you want to me, but please don't hurt Jake, okay? As she finished speaking, Chloe's face was already covered in tears. Anyone who didn't know better might think I was bullying her. In fact, that's exactly what Jake thought. He pulled Chloe behind him and looked at me with disgust, saying bluntly, Arya, I've already made it very clear to you. I don't love you anymore, and no matter what you do, you won't attract my attention. I sneered. I don't understand who gave him such a big face. Jake, don't flatter yourself. I just want what I deserve. Or are you saying that the life of the great Mr. Jake is worthless? Even ordinary families know to repay kindness. Don't tell me Mr. Jake wants to be ungrateful, forgetting the life-saving favor of an old flame just because you have someone new. My voice was full of sarcasm. The others couldn't help but whisper among themselves. It seems Arya is quite pitiful, saving Jake's life only to be dumped. 3 million really isn't much. Arya is being quite civil about it. If it were me, I'd probably have torn this scumbag and his mistress apart by now. Chloe doesn't seem like a good person either. Look at her low-class behavior. Hearing this, Jake's face turned ashen. Arya, that's enough. If it's just about money, I'll give it to you. After this, there will be no relationship between us. Don't regret it. I clicked my tongue twice and directly sent him my account number. Then let everyone here be a witness. Transfer the money to me now. I pressed him step by step, angering Jake greatly. He immediately called his assistant to transfer money to me. Unfortunately, he hadn't inherited the family business yet and couldn't come up with that much money. Looking at the $1 million in my bank account, I clicked my tongue twice and couldn't help but mock him. You can't even come up with 3 million, yet you have the nerve to two-time. I really look down on you. Stop talking nonsense. Chloe couldn't hold back anymore and pointed at me, cursing furiously. At that time, the doctors had determined you wouldn't wake up. Did you expect Jake to remain celibate for you? I clicked my tongue twice and looked at Chloe with disdain. Put away that hideous expression of yours. It's too ugly to look at. Chloe's face froze, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. That look was so ugly it hurt my eyes. Jake hugged her lovingly and looked at me angrily. I'll transfer the rest of the money to you tomorrow. From now on, we have no relationship whatsoever. Don't regret it. I sneered and said without hesitation, whoever regrets it is a bastard. A round of applause sounded from the crowd. Our eyes met, and Alex was clapping while looking at me with a half smile. Seeing this, I pursed my lips and started to maneuver my wheelchair to leave. But before I got far, Alex caught up with me. 3 years in a coma, and you've grown a brain? He asked teasingly. Hearing his mocking voice, I felt my eyes sting. Alex, the eldest son of the Zhang family, had always been sharp-tongued and relentless since childhood. I thought he disliked me, but it wasn't until my previous life when I died that I realized the truth was quite different. After my death, I discovered that Alex was actually a softie with a hard exterior. He ruthlessly sought revenge against my parents and Jake for my sake. Not only did he drive them to desperation, but on my death anniversary, he went mad and crashed into them, killing them all. Thinking of his final painful appearance, my heart ached. Yeah, after sleeping for 3 years, my brain should be fully developed. I tried to respond lightly, but by the end, I couldn't help but choke up a bit, for all the time we had lost. Alex pursed his lips and continued pushing me forward. Alex, do you need a wife? Looking at the moonlight tonight, I asked casually, how do you think I measure up?